now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another episode of the PoGo. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, and today I am joined by an awesome episode because we've got Sharkfinnagen.
Hello.
And Mark Shinnigan.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Yeah. We got a Mark and Shark episode. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Welcome to the PoGo Podcast. PoGo, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. Where we talk everything Pokemon from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And I am here for it today. I don't know that I've done much Pokemon. Actually, okay, I've done not trading card game stuff this week, so the people listening to the show will be very happy.
Oh, gee.
Okay.
Right? They're going to be very happy. Though, like, the new set comes out in like 2 weeks, right? Or in less than 2 weeks. As of recording. I think it's like the Friday as of recording. Unfortunately, I won't be able to buy it because, like, I'll be out of the country, but that's fine. And it's going to be a good time. I'm very, very, very excited for that. But I got the itch again, and I was like, I need to Nuzlocke something. So I've been doing Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke. Emerald's like one of my favorite games to Nuzlocke. And I don't know if it's because of, like, the Pokemon selection's still not great, but I feel like it's just like a good amount of challenge wrapped up in like the game itself. I mean, I'm already pretty far. Like, I think I'm already like 3 badges in or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's decently paced. You got like the right amount of encounters in the right spots. I think that helps a little bit. And
it's honestly just like one of those games where like I know the beats enough too to be able to Nuzlocke it efficiently. Yeah,
that also helps too.
Yeah, that's always important.
Yeah, like I know the beats well enough. Like I'm just like, okay, you know, on route 110, I'm gonna bump into May here, so I'll have to do a rival battle and all this other stuff. I think it's also very forgiving because, like, you know when a rival battle's coming up because most of the time your rival is just, like, sitting there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not like when I play Gen 2 or, like, the remakes of Gen 2 when, like, I totally forget there's a rival battle when you go into the Ilex Forest or the Ilex Forest after you beat the gym in Azalea Town. I forget about that battle all the time. Anytime I Nuzlocke it.
Yeah, it's one, like, again, it's like, it's different for me. I have the kind of the heart, like the gold, silver, heart, gold, silver kind of beat to me, like, oh yeah, I know. And it's literally once you beat the Slowpoke well, then the rival battle's there.
Yeah.
It's not even, you don't even have to beat the gym yet. You can, and get ambushed by that thing.
I just always forget about that battle. Like that rival battle, I just forget it. And I'll be like, oh man, I'm done with the gym. Dope. And then I'll just like go and it's just like, oh, I guess
by a low level Ghastly and you're just like,
yeah, exactly.
Because that Ghastly can be a nuisance for this game.
Yeah, that Ghastly at that stage is pretty bad. Like early game Nuzlocks are like really rough. And but I'm like 3 badges in, so I'm feeling pretty good. Like I've had one death and it was just like a stupid mistake on my part. It was like a grinding death, which I don't even know if it counts at this stage of Pokemon Nuzlocking, but like I was doing the math in my head and I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way it's like that damage is twice that. But it turns out like, I guess I must have made like a rounding error in my head or something like that. And the rounding ended up being like 1 more damage than I expected. So a crit took out a Poochyena.
Oh no.
So womp womp.
And it could just been also low roll into high roll crit. You know? You never know.
It was something like that. It was weird.
I always have that happen too. It's like, oh, it did under half. I'll be fine. Oh, yeah. Now it did over half. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh, man. But that's not the end of the world. It's like, it's 1 Pokemon out of like, 15 that I've got right now.
Yeah, and it's early in the game. It's not a big deal.
It's also a Poochyena, so like, I didn't feel bad.
Oh, poor Poochyena.
Really?
Well, if it were like, if I were playing like Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, then I'd be a little bummed because like at least then you could like you could get moves on a Poochyena.
Oh, true.
But in this case, like it's just like, yeah, I mean it'll evolve into Mightyena and it'll learn Bite one day. Gen 3 is just like I like it because it's very low stress, at least from my perspective, because the mechanics are so wildly different than like modern Pokemon that I'm allowed to forget those things because that's like still before the physical special split.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So like you're still dealing with like types being the basis for your damage. So like Poochyena is actually like probably not great because Poochyena is mostly a physical Pokemon, but it's dark type.
You're relying on Crunch to do
damage. You're relying on Crunch, which is a special move in Gen 3. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that instead of playing the Pokemon trading card game, and cheers erupt from the crowd. Yeah. Thatch did not spend 20 minutes talking about the trading card game today. Granted, I do need to clean all the cards off my desk, but that's a completely different story. Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is coming, man, and I'm here for it. Yeah, have you guys been up to anything cool and crazy and wild?
For me, it's not been too much. Mostly, it's either been playing Pokemon Go, just kind of doing some grinding on that, trying to get some researches done and get a bunch of shinies and whatever. And then just playing Pokerogue on the side.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is Pokerogue? I've seen this a lot on Twitter, and I've never actually played it.
It's basically, it is a browser-based like roguelike. It basically just plays like a normal Pokemon game. It's set up in like 10 waves where you basically will have just non-stop battles interrupted by occasional trainer battles, sometimes a rival battle, and sometimes at the very end of that 10, you either face a bossmon or a gym leader.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. And after every battle, you can basically get an item. Usually and you can also earn money and whatnot. You can basically buy a bunch of healing items there. You'll sometimes get like berries to stick on your mon. Sometimes you get TMs, more Pokeballs to catch Pokemon with. And you're basically just kind of grinding through, and you have the base run is 200 levels. So you just do that a bunch of times. And as you go, the level cap starts going away, but you're kind of forced into a level cap per set. So you can't have one mon be too strong. But basically you just kind of build up and try to get yourself a really good competitive team to hopefully beat like the final bosses of like Elite Four, a really strong rival battle, and the final boss, which is it's a fun experience for sure, especially when the bosses are like, they'll have like a bunch of like 4 or 5 health bars, almost similar to like raid battles. So But the thing is, you can play this on your phone, and which makes it a very easy time sink.
No, that's
yeah, I can see that.
That's fair.
And it's like you can you start off with like the base starters as your kind of your entry, which obviously you kind of pick some stuff that you can potentially do some fun stuff with, like Meowscarada and Fuecoco are obviously like good new mons. Like, oh yeah, you can just rely on those to do some damage and be fast or tanky. But then you can also, during the game, you can get Mega Bracelet, so you can get a Mega Charizard, you can get a Dynamax badge, and you can get a Dynamax Charizard.
I understand.
And they're just like permaforms. They're actually just permaforms, so you don't have the Mega every time, so which is kind of cool. Understood. And as you go, you can unlock eggs to get just a bunch of other Pokemon, and as you catch them, you get to actually use them as the next run in case you fail. But then once you beat the base game, you get an endless mode. And that's what people have spent a lot of time doing. Basically getting having like level 1,000 Pokemon trying to face against, other level 1,000 Pokemon. It's just like, oh my gosh. Just imagining having those strong of Pokemon.
Interesting.
But no, it's just a fun, easy, just like stick it on the phone, play it in, on a break or whatever. And you're just going, yeah. Oh, fun fact. Don't start with Arceus unless you get a good TM, because it does not learn. It only learns Seismic Toss till level 20. So I was like, Arceus, that'll be fun. It takes up most of your starter points. So it's like, oh, it doesn't know any good moves, and I didn't get any TMs to teach it. Uh-oh. Here, 15 damage Seismic Toss. Woo!
What about you, Mark? Anything fun? Out of the ordinary?
Yeah, it's been like, 7 months since I've been on?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I know you had like life changes.
Yeah, I definitely had, the baby, number 2. And, I've been in hardcore gardening mode lately, which I know some people on the server, we've been talking about plants, which is always fun. But beyond that, yeah, just been on Go a little bit. I did have one fun thing happen, I guess. Fun is not the right word. So recently at work, so like, as I think I've mentioned before, Pokemon Go is sort of my bathroom game.
Yes, I understand.
So, so I don't really play it super hardcore, but, at work, somebody turned one of the Pokestops into a gym.
Oh, man. So you can battle that while you're taking a poop.
Exactly. That is my mornings. So, anyways, the other day I realized, they're like, oh, this turned into a gym. Cool. One of these people who is, in this gym has a name very similar to my boss's. Okay. So I'm just going to beat that. And then later on, I did a raid again. And I noticed the same person with the name very similar to my boss hopped in. And I was like, okay, interesting. Let's see how this goes. And they immediately hopped out. So I think they recognize, because, my name, it's like Mark Ranger. And so that they're like, okay, this is probably my employee. And later on, I did see, like, when I talked to my boss, I noticed on her phone, I was like, oh, yeah, you're totally battling a Team Rocket grunt. Okay. Anyways, that's like, that was kind of a fun, I don't know. I don't know what to make about it, but that happened this week. And I'm like, okay, interesting.
Just like slip like a Puckle business card on her desk.
Do those exist?
They technically exist, yeah. We haven't used them in a while because we haven't like gone to any like real life events hardcore. I don't know. I kind of like to be incognito. I think part of it is that like, one, I see Puckle very differently from like a lot of other Pokemon content creators. Like we kind of just do our own thing, right? Mm-hmm. And like the other ones are just like they're collabing. They're like very integrated. They like interact with the community much more than we do.
We have a nice community. I don't know.
No, we do. I just like feel awkward flaunting it, especially like myself, right? Because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm this guy that runs this Pokemon podcast. You should probably know who I am or some nonsense like that. Like, I don't want people to feel like that.
Well, I have a question for you, Thatch. Have you ever met anyone like totally unrelated to, like a convention or a podcast or, in the community? Have you ever just run into somebody in real life who's like knew who you were, knew what Puckle was?
Like they don't. So because I don't go by my real name, right? That really helps.
Sure.
The anonymity.
But like you introduce you talk about Pokemon or something, and they're like.
So like I guess like the closest thing to that. There's like two things. Like so when I was in grad school, there was a guy who joined the group who I ended up training, who ended up replacing me. I actually ended up hiring him like a year ago, actually.
Oh.
But when I met him, like we talked, and like I wasn't like I like my group knew that I did, like I ran the podcast, and so I talked to him, and I was talking to him about it one day, and he goes, actually, by the way, I found out like my roommate used to listen to Puckle, and he knew who you were. Like my roommate in undergrad like knew who you were, and I'm just like, oh well, you can tell him you somebody famous-ish, I guess. I don't know. The one that was like really wild was I was streaming on Twitch one day, and if you've ever watched like the Puckle like documentary, like the Puckle 10 documentary,
yeah,
there's a guy named Larry Beaverlaw in that video, and the reason I met Larry was because I was on Twitch one day, and he said, "Wait a second, I recognize you," because he was watching me on Twitch. And he's just like, hey, are you at Ohio State and you typically hang around this area? And I was like, yes. He's like, I've definitely seen you. And that's how we became friends.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. That's how we became friends, because he recognized me. And so like I had him come to my office and we like hung out and we talked for a little bit. And then I started playing the Pokemon TCG with him and going to League with him and just like hanging out generally.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I mean, nice. So, like, I don't know if there's ever been like, oh, let's talk about Pokemon. They're like, oh, yeah, I know this show called Puckle or whatever. I've never really had that interaction, which I'm really okay with, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've had some interesting interactions over the year with a couple of people. Just because, like we might not have, like, in my opinion, like, a large listenership. We are very large for, like, any podcast, honestly. But...
Mm-hmm.
I've never been like, oh, we have a large listenership, that's a problem. But then I realized, like, if you like realize the amount of time we've been doing this,
yeah,
or specifically I've been doing this,
right,
with like the amount of turnover there is there's probably like we've probably touched like a good significant portion of like the Pokemon community. And if we went to the Pokemon community, like they know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good example of this is like when we went to, I believe this was like a year and a half ago. Shamu, Seth, and I went to, and Shark, you were there when we were at regionals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Dallas regionals. That's right.
Oh, I remember when you guys did that.
Yeah. When we did that, like we wore our Puckle shirts a couple days, and Shamu just got like recognized for Puckle stuff by like one of the bigger TCG YouTubers, Little Dark Fury.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like he like knew Puckle.
But did you know Shamu specifically? Because that would be great.
I don't know if he knew Shamu specifically, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, but like, you know, they knew Puckle. Like they know of Puckle. Like Puckle is known of in the Pokemon community.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's kind of cool.
Because I think I remember I met a fan too when I was doing Pokemon Go.
He did. He didn't realize who any of us were, and that was funny.
Yeah. It was like, I don't. It was like when he realized, it was like, oh yeah, I'm Shark, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it was just really fun little interaction.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
See, I had that happen when I did radio, but that's a little bit different because, like, you know, you're broadcasting in a local area.
It's a local area, so like you're more likely to meet those people, right?
Right. Or like, you know, in this one of the cases, I remember it was one of my friends got a girlfriend and he was listening to our show, like when I was on the air.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was the other way around. He was in her vehicle and she was listening to the radio while we were on the air, and she was like, I love these guys, and turned it up. And he's like, well, I know them. She's like, no, you don't. That's not, no. And he's like, yes, I do. And it's like, do you want to go to the studio? And she's like, And so, yeah, he brought her to the studio, and she was like totally gobsmacked. It was great.
Yeah. Like the wildest one is like the first one that ever happened, because I never thought like we would ever reach any number of people close to us.
Mm-hmm. And
I remember this. So like we were like, very early on, we were very bad about like concealing our personal information. Go figure, like a couple of 16, 17-year-olds don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And there's a guy who we got an email one day, and they're just like, hey, do you live in like this area? Because I go to this high school. And it turned out to be a guy that like lived down the street from us, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And we met him because we were idiots. And
what do you mean you met him? What'd you do? Go to his house?
We didn't go to his house. We did actually go to his house and picked him up one day. What a ridiculous thing that looking back on it, like this is stranger danger like 101. Like he just got in our car. We went and hung out. It was that like we had something like that happen very early on. So it's like always kind of been a thing.
That's actually pretty fun. I like that.
It's always kind of been a thing, but I don't know. It's not something that like I aspire to, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to turn us away from this though.
Okay.
And I'm going to make us go talk about some news. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things. First of all, it's a very light news week once again. This could have been news last week, but you know, fine. Paradox Pokemon merch was finally announced. Past Pokemon are getting some plushies. While Iron Bundle and Iron Moth got these really cool figures, and actually they are really, really cool.
They are really cool. Yeah.
Actually, I think in Japan, like Slitherwing also got like a really cool figure that's like a paper holder, and yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff. Chien Pao's also randomly getting a plush in with the Paradox Pokemon. Wild, weird. Why not? The news document itself says, "Wo Chien fans are in shambles."
Well, there's a chance. We don't know. It's coming out tomorrow at time of recording.
Yeah.
So maybe they stealthily sneak it in there. So
there's a Dragon Carnival event also happening in Pokemon Unite until June 12th. Looks like a solid means to get the dragon characters if you don't have them? ?
I love whoever writes these.
It's Sigma. It's our Sigma.
It's Sigma. Okay.
It's Sigma.
I couldn't remember if it was Liger or Sigma who did this. And yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, this one's Sigma. Sigma does a very good job. He gets my humor, to be fair. But yeah. All right. So moving on to Scarlet and Violet news. I believe this is you, Mark.
This is me. Similar to Ligo Sprigatito, we're getting Dots Quaxley. So no obligation for Thatch to sing the Fuecoco song yet. So the code should be announced by the episode's airing. So by the time you're hearing this, you should be able to download it.
Go to Cerebi. Don't listen to us. Just go to Cerebi.
Just go to Cerebi. They're a much better news source.
We're not a news source. We're a news festooner.
We're news aggregator.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least we don't use the AI.
That's true.
We have actual.
We have Sigma actually look this up.
There's enough audio of me on the internet that I'm sure I could be an AI.
You know, we should do that one time. We should totally have an AI only episode.
An AI only episode.
Oh, no.
I want it to be with 3 Thatches though.
Ooh.
Yeah. No.
Oh my god.
It'd be a Thatchless Thatch episode.
Thatch episode.
This gives me really bad ideas, guys. This is not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zamazenta, the good boy, after being laughingstock for last generation, Zamazenta ended up winning the Stockholm Regionals.
Good for it.
So that's fun. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no, actually, honestly, that was really surprising when I was just seeing, like, when you think what would be the most powerful the most common restricted, when you even have things like Ice Rider and Miraidon and Terrapagos and all that, Zamazenta was the one that was actually, like, doing real numbers.
Hey, I'm all for it. Yeah,
More power
cool
to it. More power to Zamazenta. It needed something.
You know, we all have to have wins every once in a while, and Zamazenta, this is your time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it well earned for it. I think Ice Rider had the most on day 1, and then Zamazenta had day 2 locked down.
Good.
Okay.
I like it. It makes me sad. You see that meme every once in a while that pops up of like when they were selling the plushies, and like it's just like all the Zamazentas are there. Like nobody chose it. Well,
And
yeah.
No Zasa.
That happened.
Yeah,
That happened.
Yeah, so.
Zamazenta, like that was like the most one-sided like version dispute I've ever seen.
Honestly, no, I liked Zamazenta. So. I did.
No, you did, but like 99
I know not
other
many people
didn't. 99
but you know what?
people
One of my
did.
favorites is Farfetch. So what does it say about me?
Farfetch is a solid Pokemon, and that is that is a valid opinion and a very good opinion.
Well, Thatch, I appreciate your confirmation on that, but most people do not feel that way.
They're wrong. They're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Shark, take away with Pokemon Go, because you probably play it more than both of us, honestly.
Yeah. Next week is kind of exciting. They've got the Ultra Space Wonders event, where running through basically the end of the month from May 23rd to 28th. It finally unlocks Naganadel, so that your Poipole can finally evolve.
How long has that thing been sitting in my inbox?
Since March, since the 1st of March.
I'm like, cool, I finished the research. Now just here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And then Stakataka and Blacephalon will be starting to show up as well in raids. Stakataka will be in the eastern hemisphere and Blacephalon in the west.
Cool.
So get your remote passes ready. Get your friends across the
Pokegenie is there for you.
Wait, didn't Blacephalon? Am I misremembering? Didn't Blacephalon already come out?
I don't think so.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Pokemon Go's release.
We had Kartana and
Celesteela. Celesteela.
Yeah, those two are north and southern hemisphere little exclusives that were happening.
Okay.
But
This is like so confusing. It's fine, Mark. You're not wrong.
They will. Okay, so Pokemon Go doesn't even release them all in like one generation. They're just skipping around all over the place.
They're just bouncing around right now, which is the most frustrating thing. You know what's worse is like we
finished Gen 6. I mean,
Gen 6 is I think done. I think the one that's wild to me is that we can catch like Sprigatito, Quaxley, and Fuecoco. But you know what we can't catch? We can't catch Scorbunny, Sobble, or Grookey. Nobody misses that.
Yeah, we
Nobody,
don't have Gen 8 starters.
Nobody's mad about this, for the record.
But why? Okay, so whatever. I mean, I don't know. We can pontificate about the decision making of the Pokemon Go. Like, that doesn't. This is so stupid. Like, I don't know. And like the fact that like we can't even get Go-Goat still. I mean, because they came in the what was it in Korea last year was when you could catch it.
Yeah.
Like, why was that an event exclusive? That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll point out that, with these, these Let's Go tour, the Go tours each year that they've done is like, oh, you can finally complete all of the Gen 1 decks, all the Gen 2 decks, all the Gen 3 decks. It's like, okay, Gen 4, we're finally going to get all of them. Nope, we're still missing 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
We're still missing 3. We still can't get Arceus. We still can't get Manaphy.
Yeah.
And there's one more I know, and Via.
There's a lot of Pokemon that are just locked, and it's confusing, and it makes it hard. Like it makes it hard to like want to go quote unquote catch them all, because you don't know if they're there or not. You just don't know if they're there or not. Like regionals are honestly like, I am okay with the idea of regionals, but I really think that they should rotate more frequently.
I agree.
If at all. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like the thing that they did that I thought was really cool was like Zangoose and Seviper. For like the longest time it used to be the opposite in the US. It used to be like and then they like flipped it randomly like a month or two afterwards. And I really wish that is what would happen for every regional.
I would like them to just like make them available every once in a while. Like I know that was the thing with Heracross. Yeah. Like I couldn't catch it ever, and then it would randomly show up during like certain times in raids. And I'm like, okay, this is fine.
I agree with you.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just make our lives easier instead of making us, have to travel around the world or go to like a paywall.
Yeah, it would be easier, I think, especially with like how frequently people are friends on the internet, like us. If we could at least like trade long distance.
Oh my god, that would be so amazing. Like what the hell?
That would be a game changer.
Exactly.
Well, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like I don't really know anybody locally who plays, so I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah. Well, Shark, take us home with Go and TCG and finish it up.
Yeah, right. There's still more Go news.
Yay.
Also, apparently, Marini can be shiny in this event.
Yay.
That is also a thing. Hooray! That's actually not a bad shiny.
Yeah.
But yeah. And May 26th, there will be Pharaohseed Incense Day, where they'll rotate between a bunch of grass or steel types every other hour.
That's what.
So there's some decent.
That's the event the people were winning for.
Hey, exactly. I love grass and steel types, so yes. Okay.
All right, TCG.
Twilight Masquerade releases this week. TCG live decks are going to be Dragapult and Ogerpon, with the Palafin EX deck also going to be given out on the June.
What a bunch of fun! Everybody can play Dragapult now. That's fine. It's not a tier S format right now, or a tier 0 format. It's fine.
And then lastly, they've announced the August 2nd small set. It's going to be Shrouded Fable. It'll have the Momotaro Quartet, Petrarun, and all the other poison legendaries. It'll also have Kingdra EX and an Electric Reverum. And it looks like it should also also add a grass option to United Wings with Dartrix. And technically fighting 2 via Relicanth.
Awesome. All right, and that's it for the news, but we're going to go ahead and talk about Puckle's Pokey Opinion. With the advent of ownership ribbons, what would be your ideal of a quote-unquote simple mystery gift?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Do you know what this is? Ownership ribbons. No. So what happens is, with Liko Sprigatito and also now with Dots Quaxley, they both have a ribbon. So that they come out of the Pokeball when you throw them out, and they're just like, you chose Dots Quaxley. Like that's what the game will say, because it's just like a cute little way. They could definitely just do it for like whoever wins like world championships or something, give out one of their Pokemon or something like that. I fully expect it to do that, and be like, go, Wolf's Incineroar.
Okay,
And, yeah.
Well, okay, so we had a bunch of Ashes stuff already, so it's just from now on they're going to give us special ribbons for these guys.
Yeah, special ribbons so that like their names are attached to it. I'm okay with that. I want Ash to show back up in the anime so that I could have an excuse to do that. It's fine. Ash needs to show back up. Bring him back. They're just too scared.
Okay, so a simple mystery gift is what? Just somebody's random Pokemon?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, we're going to Thatch is for alligator. Mark's Go-Go.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you can also technically get those with like the gem trade in the new DLC for Blackberry Academy. You have all those fights with the gym leaders, and you can trade their Pokemon. That's where I think this first came up. So.
Yeah.
So, like, what would be another one? What would be a good simple mystery?
Broxonics.
Dude, I was just about to say that. That's perfect.
Broxonics. Boom.
Yeah.
Misty Starmie.
Misty Psyduck.
Yeah, just
like
that'd be a good one.
Yeah, some of the old gym leaders would be not bad, and then also potentially getting the world champions would be kind of fun too. Especially with like, you know, if there happen to be, you know, people that you follow, you know, it's like, oh, it'd be cool. It's like, I have his.
I don't know. That's a little tacky to me. I'm okay with them like being like the in-world like Pokemon trainers, but like to have some like, like wolves, whatever. I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like, I feel like I'm very much in like the competitive Pokemon community Twitter, and I feel like the amount of people that care so much about competitive Pokemon players themselves is just very overblown. Like I don't
believe it.
I understand that like there's these good players in the scene, but I don't know how many people actually care who Wolf Glick is.
No, you know? I don't. I know who he is, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know. It's fine. But yeah. All right, well, that's the news. We are going to kick it on over now, guys, to our Puckle's Poke Quiz. We're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. So let's flip it on over to that.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to our Poke Quiz. We're going to rock and roll here and start it off with this question from Tubins. What is the only normal type evolution line that has access to the Tinted Lens ability?
Tinted lens?
Yes, Tinted Lens.
Normal type?
I will tell you what Tinted Lens as well is, because I feel like that's fun information to have. Tinted Lens is an ability that doubles the damage done by any moves the Pokemon uses which are not very effective. But yes.
Okay.
There's only one normal type evolutionary line that does get this ability.
Ooh, Shark, what do you think?
I'm trying to think, because my issue is like, it's one of those like, I don't think this counts because I know I just literally did a random battle and I used a Hisuian Braviary and used the Tinted Lens ability helped me because Esperwing was able to do almost half to an Excadrill that switched in, but that's a psychic type, so not a normal type. So that's why. But Rufflet's a normal type, and but I don't think line, though. Yeah, I don't think that counts. So trying to think what else.
Okay, so God, what would that even be? Like, do you think it's another bird? I don't even know what that would even be.
It could be something like Noctowl. It's like either
does Noctowl get it?
It's like my thoughts are like Noctowl, maybe Spinda. But
Spinda, okay.
But Spinda, I think, just uses.
I don't think Spinda has that though.
I don't think so. I think Spinda's all kooky. I mean, it's got.
Dude, I don't remember what Noctowl's abilities are.
I really can't think. I feel like it could be Tinted Lens.
I'm gonna need an
hit
answer
by
here,
it.
guys.
I think
Do you want to just go with
I'm just going to go with
Noctowl?
Noctowl because that's the only one I can think of that kind of works in my head.
Noctowl is correct. Noctowl and
cool.
Hoothoot get Tinted Lens as their hidden abilities.
Oh,
Yeah, and
there we
only
go.
Hisuian Braviary gets it,
Right.
not regular Braviary. That's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah. No, it gets sheer force.
It does.
Gets the big stabby moves.
Regular Hisuian Braviary also gets sheer force. Just as like one of its normal
Oh, yeah,
abilities.
that's true,
but-
too. I forget that. Right,
Oh.
right. That's why, because you spam
Yep.
Hurricane with it. Duh.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and ask this next question from Elite Four Brant. What is the only Pokemon that can have the heavy metal and light metal as an ability?
Heavy metal and light
there's
metal?
one Pokemon that can have both abilities. Not at the same time, obviously, but
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
It's
jeez,
one
I
of
don't even
two.
know.
No, it's not. It's not you.
That's an Aggron. Aggron gets that, doesn't it?
It's either Aggron or Metagross.
Ooh, maybe it is Metagross.
Because I have to think. I thought it was for 2 seconds. It was whatchamacallit. I thought it was Bronzong, but it doesn't. You know, because it already has two other abilities.
It has, like,
so it can't
Levitate,
have
right?
that. It can't have both of those. So
Okay.
because
Honestly, but Aggron does not get light metal. I know that.
Aggron gets sturdy. Aggron
Yeah, it gets sturdy. In Rockhead, I think.
Rockhead. Yep. Nope. There you go. Can't use both.
Yeah.
Metagross
I
gets
think-
clear body.
Right. I do remember that, but I don't know if it gets heavy metal. I honestly don't remember everything that gets heavy metal, so I couldn't even use
what
that as a
about
reference.
Okay, the other option could be Copper Raja, but I don't think
Does that get heavy metal?
it gets heavy metal because that makes it that I know it gets heavy metal and I know it gets sheer force. I'm trying to think of
Okay.
its third ability.
But
If
probably
it has
doesn't
a
get.
third
I don't think it gets light. I don't
Does
know.
it have light metal or does it not? Because I know you use heavy metal to basically just make us because it's the heaviest, almost that one of the heaviest Pokemon. Period.
Right.
Is I think the heaviest Pokemon that gets heavy metal. I don't think.
Oh man. Okay, what gets light metal?
Who gets
I think I think you're right. I think Metagross gets it, but I don't think it gets heavy metal.
like what else gets? What other big steel type are there? It's not going to be Steelix. I
No.
don't think it's Steelix.
Maybe it is. Is it Bronzor?
No, there's
No,
three
'cause it
abilities
has
on it,
Levitate.
and you can only have three abilities, and two of them are Flame Proof and Levitate.
Oh, right.
I'm going to need
Dude,
an
I'm
answer
at a
here,
blank.
guys.
I don't know.
I think we go back to Metagross because that's the only one because I can't think of a
Metagross.
third ability on it. So
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but yeah,
yeah,
let's do it.
that's the safest answer we got.
Metagross is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Duraludon. Duraludon also loses.
because
It also loses both of those abilities upon evolution.
Yeah, because it gets stamina and sturdy. It gets stamina and
Okay.
sturdy, and they both have the stupid stalwart ability.
Yep. All right, you guys are 1 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question. It's going to come to you from Smeargle19. Its Pokemon Sword Pokedex entry reads: sometimes it misunderstands instructions and appears dazed or bewildered. Many trainers don't mind, finding this behavior to be adorable. Who's that Pokemon?
I think this is Gudra. I think this is Gudra.
I'm fine with Gudra. That sounds
Gudra's
reasonable.
correct. I'm amazed that you got that so quickly.
Okay.
Let's go.
Because I love Gudra, and I know I've read that before.
The other entry was going to be from Pokemon Moon today, and it says, it gets picked on because it's meek, but then whoever teased it gets to feel the full force of its horns and a good swatting from its thick tail.
Which I just want to point out Gudra is one of those Pokemon that makes no sense because it is not a physical attacker, and yet its Pokédex entries have it thrashing things.
Does. All right, well, you guys are 3 for 3 there. Your next question is your multiple answer question. There are going to be... there are 3 answers here. I am going to need 1 point for each, obviously. This comes from Gigasaurus Games. There are 3 spread moves for like double battles. both affecting your partner and not that make contact. What are they?
Wait, 3 of them that will also impact your partner.
They can impact
earthquake?
also. They could also not impact your partner. We're just talking about spread moves that do damage to more than one Pokemon on the field in a double battle. These are moves that make contact. So like you would be able to get burned from like Flame Body or paralyzed from static.
Oh, they make contact. Okay.
So 3 moves that make contact or that
do make contact and are spread moves. Make sense?
Okay. Wait,
does
Brutal
Earthquake
Swing
make
is
Brutal
one.
Swing is one. Brutal Swing is one.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
That's so there's something like that. Petal Blizzard is a maybe.
You do have to lock them in. 3 strikes, you're out, and hold the deal, right? So
Yeah, I'm gonna just throw that one out, not to submit yet.
I don't know about Petal Blizzard.
Physical type of move. Trying to think other spread moves. You got Surf.
Oh man. Wait, so okay, go back to Earthquake though. Earthquake is physical. I know it's
but it doesn't make contact.
Does it make
no,
contact?
because like the idea is like the
not.
Pokemon has to like touch the other Pokemon, right?
Right. Well, I don't know. Sometimes the logic of these things don't make any sense.
Well, sometimes they do a little too much. It's like Draining Kiss is a contact move, but it's a special move.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But
dude, yeah, let's go Petal Blizzard then.
That is
let's throw that one out
unfortunately
there.
incorrect. You do have access to the hint, by the way, guys.
No.
Because you got a question wrong anyway. So
You know, actually, that's a good idea. Let's use the hint.
Ooh, wait. What about Bulldoze?
That one does not make no.
But Bulldoze, you're like, you're in Bulldoze, you're hitting them, right?
I feel like you don't make contact with that, but maybe you do.
you guys want the hint? Maybe get the hint.
I'm still
maybe
good for
make
the
it,
hint first.
Maybe get the
Yeah,
hint.
let's do
Let's
that.
get the hint first
to
to make sure that
ground type
it's
moves.
a ground type move or not.
All right. So, which one did you say already?
Brutal Swing.
Okay. So, let me see. One of these is a dragon type move. Another one of the other one you're missing is a poison type move. I will give you more details. The poison type move is only learnable by one Pokemon, and one Pokemon which is used by a notable trainer in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And the dragon type move is
it's Mortal Spin.
Mortal Spin is correct.
Mortal Spin is the physical is from
that is
Gilmora.
correct. That is correct. And
right.
the last one, the dragon type move, was introduced in, I believe, generation. I don't know which generation it was introduced in. Generation 8, I believe. Yes.
No.
It is still learnable in Generation 9. It did not get cold, thankfully. And a lot of Pokemon can learn this one. Like, oh my gosh.
A lot of them.
It is a TM also in Scarlet and Violet. So that narrows it down to like 200 some moves.
This is the TM in and if it would help more if it was a TM in
Gen 8 Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
You know what?
Or
I'll
not.
tell you it is. It was TM 99. Okay. Everybody knows their TM numbers.
Yeah, right.
The only one I did know for the longest time was Earthquake.
It might be,
but then they changed it, and now I don't know it anymore.
Oh, is it? Okay, hold on. Yeah, it technically counts as a spread move, and it make contact, but it doesn't hit all 3 of your.
It doesn't have to hit. This doesn't have to hit all 3.
It only hits.
Yeah, it doesn't
2.
have to hit all 3.
It's Breaking
Breaking
Swipe.
Swipe is correct. Thank you, you guys.
Oh, Breaking
All
Swipe.
3.
Okay.
That is 3 points. You guys are 6 for 4. Your last question, as always, is your base stat question. And this is going to come from Shift. I love that name, just being called Shift.
Nice.
Which pre-evolved Pokemon, not including single-stage lines, thanks Little Cup, has the highest base HP?
What?
Oh, God.
So what Little Cup Pokemon has the highest base HP is essentially the answer, is the question.
Oh. Okay. My first instinct is the Happiny.
Yeah.
Why does it tell me
that?
Why do I feel like it might not be Happiny?
Why wouldn't it be Happiny, though?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another Pokemon.
I think that makes sense.
It
right?
makes sense, but it's the thing with Happiny is it has 100, which is high for Little Cup Mons, but also at the same time, I was like, well, is it beatable? It's low enough that I could see something else sneaking ahead, but I can't think of anything else that's
in Little Cup now.
Good in Little Cup and also has more HP than it might be that easy.
Yeah, I'm okay with Happini.
Let's go Happini.
Happini is unfortunately incorrect. Happini's actually
it is not that easy.
Actually number 4. Yeah. Number 1 is Munchlax with a base 135. Followed up by Whalmer.
Stupid
Whalmer at 130. Then Citadel at 108. Then Happini at 100. Well, at least he got top 4, so like that's good. You guys still got 6 points today.
I was afraid for a reason, I guess.
We are in our race to what is this? Race to 40, and then we're just gonna switch it on over to whoever gets the highest at the end of the year. And so in first place right now, we've got a tie between R Sigma and Linian at 35. And third, we have a tie between Jushiro and Whimsicott at 33. In fifth, we've got Cloud9 at 30, followed up by Seth Vilo at 22, then followed up by Sharkfinnagen at 20, Sublime at 14, Dr. Shamu at 13, Mark at 6, and then Bocephus bringing up the rear at 5.
Yeah.
So you're not dead last. No. Bo did worse than you, apparently. All right. Well, on that note, guys, we are going to kick it on over to our topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is going to be Pokemon's Z-A. What Pokemon deserve Megas? Because I don't think there's a chance where we don't get a new Mega evolution whatsoever. I do hope, it's like my worst case scenario is that like they pull Pokemon Legends Arceus on us and for some reason give us like Mega Xerneas and Mega Yveltal and Mega Zygarde. Could you imagine though?
Oh God.
They probably will. It'll probably be something like that.
Could you imagine them doing that? I could totally see it. It would honestly, those Pokemon coming back kind of breaks the lore a little bit too, but that's a whole other thing. Especially if it takes place in the past and not in the future, it breaks the lore a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
wait a minute. Why would it break the lore that much? I thought they were just like in nature or whatever.
They were in nature, but like I don't think they were like seen for like thousands of years. Like that's the idea, right? Or am I wrong?
I don't remember enough about the mythology of it.
To be fair, Pokemon X and Y story is not my strong suit or the game's strong suit.
Hence why we're back. And Zygarde's finally getting a game about itself when it, for some reason, Alola gets the freaking complete form.
We'll see. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I really don't understand. It's okay. I'll live. Yeah, I think we should talk about some Pokemon that deserve it. Like a very obvious example of something that deserves it is Flygon.
Mm-hmm.
Like Flygon has to happen for so many reasons. I don't know what it's going to look like. One, I'm going to start off by saying I've never been a part of people who care about Mega Flygon. Like I just don't care. Honestly, I was just happy with the Megas we got because I thought it was really cool. And everybody going, oh, I want this Mega, which was really fun at the beginning of Gen 7 because we assumed new Megas were coming before they decided that mechanics were just going to be trashed at the end of each generation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun to be part of that speculation. Everybody really wanted Mega Flygon. What's even worse is like Game Freak has acknowledged that people want Mega Flygon in interviews.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like in interviews, like they mentioned, like, yeah, we were thinking about Mega Flygon, but we just couldn't come up with any ideas. Well, hopefully in the past 11 years, they've come up with better ideas.
Here, I think they are absolutely going to do Mega Flygon because if you've noticed, they've been doing the last few years, they've been actually like addressing all of the fan stuff.
No, they've been very good. They've been very well. I think it's also, if you think about it, like Pokemon X and Y came out as of now 11 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of people working for Game Freak were probably kids playing those games.
Yeah, probably.
No, that's true.
One of them had to have like some fan art of a Mega Flygon somewhere, and they're going to use that as like inspiration or a jumping off point.
Oh, sure.
Like it has to happen.
I think there are going to be some Gen 6 mons that'll probably get, assuming we do get megas, which I think is probably a done deal. It's not just going to be a story device.
There needs to be Gen 6 megas. Like, that has to happen, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I think Talonflame, at least I would want Talonflame to totally get a mega. I mean, just being the regional bird. And then, they kind of nerfed it.
They did.
As a competitive mon.
I'm kind of curious because, like, honestly, I see these games as just like whatever Game Freak wants to make them. Because I don't see like the battle system in this game being the same as in Legends Arceus, if that makes sense.
Oh no, of course. Oh God, I hope not. Actually,
I wonder if abilities will be back. Like abilities will play a role, or there'll be something like an analog to abilities and how the battles work here. Maybe it's not Gale Wings per se, but maybe we get like a Gale Wings like effect from Mega Talonflame or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I'd be fine with that. I mean, I don't know. I think it needs it.
And also, abilities are like a huge part of megas. Like, that's a huge part of megas.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're right. We don't know what the mechanics are going to be yet, so it's kind of hard to predict. But
you feel like, something like Talonflame does deserve a little bit of something, because it's been given and taken and given.
Oh, yeah.
I think if Gen 6 Pokemon are getting megas, I think it's very obvious that, like, the 3 starters are getting them, too.
Yeah, whatever the 3 starters are, you don't know which ones.
Right.
Well, no, I meant the Gen 6 starters, Greninja, Delphox, Chestnut. I think there's a good chance.
I don't even think that's guaranteed, honestly. I agree. I think it's going to be, I honestly think they would be more likely to give us, whatever the regional forms of the starters will have some crazy mega or something with them. Like,
I just see it as a way to give us Ash Greninja back. Is like, that's Mega Greninja now.
Oh, that's true. Ooh, that is okay.
Dude. Okay, if that's Mega Greninja, that's a lame Mega Greninja. I don't know. That seems
I mean, that's what it was supposed to be based on the anime. Like, the idea was like, this is a very similar Bond to Mega Evolution. So like, Ash Greninja was like supposed to be Mega Greninja essentially. Like, Ash Greninja is like a very weird oddity.
I mean, it does have about the stat boost of a Mega, to be honest. It
is meant to be a Mega. Like, it's meant to be. Which is why it was broken on teams, because you could have that on a team with a Mega at the same time with Primals, because why not? And so there's a lot of things there. I think that's just like a very low hanging fruit idea to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll just see like an appearance of Ash Greninja or something. You know what I mean? Like something like this has to happen. Something will happen with Greninja. I'm calling it now.
Oh, probably. I mean, if they want to go with what people want, I mean, Greninja is definitely up there with what people like.
I think there's also a chance that like the starters for this game are just the Gen 6 starters.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's just a chance that's the starters.
I mean, it's possible.
I think this game is like, assuming Pokemon Legends Arceus is like a template for this is like not a good way to think about this game.
I still hope it's a city builder.
Which if you look at Legends Arceus, it's you basically only touch the Palkia and Lugia, or no,
Palkia and Dialga.
Palkia and Dialga. And everything else basically stayed the same. There was no really crazy forms or anything. It was just, you get all the Gen 4 Pokemon, and look, there's a different looking Voltorb. There's a Lilligant here, and a Sliggoo.
I think there's a very good chance though for a lot of megas. Like even then, like I could see like Pokemon past Gen 6 getting megas, which would be really cool. And Gen 5 honestly needs more love because all they have is Audino.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have like Audino, so like maybe
Gen 5, definitely. There's a couple.
Mega Conkeldurr.
Like even just something fun. There's some good fun ones too.
God, I hate that.
I want Mega Conkeldurr. I want it to have something. I want it to have like the evolution from wood timber to girder to like concrete pillars to something bigger and better.
To an actual building. That's the next stage. It's just a building.
It carries an Archaludon.
Okay, I would like that. That'd be kind of fun.
That or it's oh my gosh, hold on. It's Atlas. It's Atlas from like the myth, like holding the world. Like it's like a giant rock or a world just like that.
Oh, he's got the big ball, yeah.
I'm into that. And if it gets the rock type, it's a fighting rock type.
Honestly, that would make that whole evolution a lot better.
Honestly, either fighting rock or fighting with the Bombardier's special ability where it gets extra rock stab.
Well, no, if he's got the earth on his shoulders, it needs to be ground type, right?
It could be. Fighting ground could be good.
Ground's fine with me too. I'm into that.
With rock stab, just give it all that. There you go.
Boom. We fixed it. Thank you. We made it better for you.
We did it. Pay us now.
Game Freak. No, they can have our ideas for free. I'm waiting.
Yeah, no, please. Yeah, that's because there's good things. There's Pokemon that need love.
There's somebody at Nintendo of America that listens to the show. I guarantee it. They can relay this information back, and we're fine. Yeah, I think those are great. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon in Gen 5, and I mean later gens too. Because like I personally did not expect like Hisuian and Decidueye, right? So I think they can even go later, like Mega Phalanx. I don't know what that would be, but they could do it.
Ooh, oh yeah, just a swarm of them. It's just an army. It's
yeah, I don't know.
It's 300 of them.
Okay, now hear me out. Something that needed to exist and doesn't. Mega Slowking.
Ooh.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Mega Slowbro exists.
Is that going to be the only Mega that loses stats because it gains an ability?
Mega Slowking needs to just like be the shelter hat, and it like consumes the Pokemon underneath it, like the opposite of the Slowbro.
Oh wait, Slowking.
Yeah, I like that.
I was thinking Slacking. Excuse me.
Slowking.
No. Slacking would be too much.
Slowking. Yeah.
Slowking. No, Slowking. Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, that's good. Slacking. No, please don't.
Slowking.
Well, what about like a Mega Quagsire? I think that'd be pretty cool.
One up you, Mega Clodsire.
Yeah, the only thing is they just got Clodsire.
Ooh, yes. I'd be okay either direction on that one.
I think Mega Clodsire is better. I do agree with you. Sure. Well, you know what? I don't want to like claim I know anything that's going on with Pokemon, because they'll just like give us random stuff. Like they essentially went into and said like, oh, we're not going to do any like Hisuian forms of Pokemon. Honestly, it was all Pokemon that like came after Gen 6 essentially, or Gen 4 in Legends Arceus, with the exception of like Sneasel, who already had a Gen 4 evolution, but they're like, yeah, give it a Hisuian form anyway.
Exactly.
And that was weird because, like, yeah, well, I guess we get like Ursaluna, but I wouldn't call that a form, nor Weirdeer. Give me Weirdeer in a normal Pokemon game, Game Freak, you cowards.
We're still waiting for that.
The fact that it can learn Psyshield Bash.
Pokemon, I think could be fun for Z-A, just because it is in a France. When you think of France, you think of like, one of the fancy foods you think of is escargot, and what better than to get a Mega than Mega Macargo?
I was thinking you were going Gastrodon there, but I'm much happier with the Cargo.
Right.
Gastrodon already is there.
Gastrodon's already good.
Gastrodon's already got itself a special form last game. I don't think it's going to get a Mega on top of already having its cool Hisuian form.
No, Gastrodon doesn't have a Hisuian form.
Well, you could have a Gudra. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking Gudra. Oh my gosh,
You're tired, Shark. You're tired. You're going crazy, bud. Okay.
I am tired. I'm confusing Pokemon now. Jeez.
You're going crazy. Okay, you're going crazy.
Yeah. Gastrodon. Gastrodon would be good though. Mega Gastrodon could be good. Yeah.
I know. I like Macargo better because Macargo is a Pokemon that could actually use something.
It really does.
I agree. Magcargo you can ignore Magcargo in most circumstances. So let's give it something good.
It's like it got Shell Smash and is like almost there. Like give it a Mega and to something that like get rid of its 4x weakness and give it some real stats.
That's a good one. Donphan would be cool.
Ooh, yes. See, I was thinking, even though it's already pretty good, like I wouldn't change it really, but Mega Skarmory, I think would have a lot of potential.
I think it would be cool.
Skarmory and Mantine could be an interesting pair to do, because there's definitely going to be some pairs when they do Megas again. I think those could be interesting, because they're both kind of like could use something.
Mega Bruxish.
Just a little more.
Oh, you know what? I'd be okay with that. Let's do it.
I think it's like one of the more underappreciated like Gen 7 Pokemon.
Bruxish is just kind of a pain. Like if you made it better, I think actually made it like a real threat. I think that'd be really nice.
Or at least just like give it something. Like if we're talking about like Mega Evolution highlighting Pokemon that are underappreciated, like Charizard, we like, I think Bruxish is a very good example.
No, that's a good one. You've got the Gen 2 bugs that could use a little bit more something. Just Ledian and Ariados are all meh.
Or what about Noctowl? Noctowl needs something.
I feel like we're just like Gen 2 hasn't been touched and it needs to be touched. Please help us.
Well, we need a remake of the remakes, and I'd be happy.
We need to remake the remakes and give them all megas. Like every Gen 2 Pokemon gets a mega.
Everything. Just down the board.
No, not Mega Blissey. Not Mega Blissey. No. That sounds like a bad idea. Blissey does not need a mega. It already has too much HP. We don't need to give it defenses.
We need Mega Sunflora, okay?
Oh, I'd be okay with that.
That I agree with. Mega Sunflora.
Again, another Pokemon that like needs something. Like, here we go. Sunflora, what are you?
It's actually like, it's fun to use in random bats, but it's like, yeah, no, it needs just a little more.
What are you?
Than just, relying on Specs or Sunny Day.
Exactly. Like, what are you, Sunflora? What are you doing here? Go home. You're drunk,
Well, what about Love Disc? I mean, they kind of got rid of the only thing Love Disc was good for, right? With the heart scales. So now it's completely worthless. Like, let's give it something.
It does need something.
Yeah, no, Love Disc is a great one. Chatot, if you're thinking of a Pokemon that lost its gimmick, Chatot's a great one too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it don't get no chatter no more. There's no microphones on your Switch to use.
That's for good reason, though. Like,
that is for very good reasons.
Yeah, there's a reason you can't communicate with other Pokemon people.
It turns out that was a bad idea. It was also just like early internet, so that kind of makes sense to me. Man. So I had something else to talk about. Oh, but I completely forgot. It's adjacent to Megas. It's not exactly Megas. Do you think with them, like they introduce like new Pokemon occasionally, and like in Legends Arceus, like we got like Ursaluna and Weirdeer. Do you think there's a chance that people get their Dragon type evolution that they've been clamoring for like the last bajillion years? I for one am not on like the Eevee train for anything, but like,
look, I love evolutions, but like Dragon Eevee, it's like the Ghost Eevee. That's just no.
Dragon Eevee only makes sense to me because of the way that the physical special split was done. And right now it's very easy to go, oh, it's all the evolutions plus Dragon type are special.
You just have the one more to complete.
You just make it Dragon.
And it's all the special moves are all the evolutions.
Dragon Eevee is just no, it just sounds no. I don't like the concept of it.
Fairy would be a special type, though. Like, Fairy would be a special type.
It would be a special type if they could.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to not want it, but it's like, at the same time, I kind of do, so.
Shark, no. No, Shark, don't. Don't.
Go to the dark side, Shark.
Don't think it into existence, no.
I'm also not, like, a big Eevee. Like, I don't want to feed that, but, like, Eevee's going to be in this game. Like, there's no way they make a Pokemon game without Eevee ever again.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah, no, there's Sylvia. Sylveon's in this game, so therefore every Eevee's going to be in this game.
Yeah, all the evolutions.
Eevee's going to be in every Pokemon game until the end of time, just like Pikachu. It is an unofficial mascot of Pokemon. Well, maybe it's more official because of Let's Go Eevee, but it's like, yeah, it's very clear to me that like Eevee is just going to be there forever, just like Charizard and Pikachu.
Right.
I wish they had mascots that like weren't Gen 1 Pokemon, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's whatever.
They get temporary ones. It's called the starters.
That's it. Like it's just, they're like reps.
Starters and a few other niche Pokemon that'll just come for each gen.
It's just like representatives, I feel like, more than anything else.
Speaking of starters and speaking of Pokemon who need love, let's talk. I really hope that Chikorita is one of the starters.
The Gen 2 starters could use Megas.
Oh, yeah, dude, totally. Mega Feraligatr would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get it. Mostly because we just got Hisuian Typhlosion. Like, it won't be across the board.
It won't be across the board. It'll be one of the two.
It'll be Chikorita or Feraligatr. It'll be Meganium or Feraligatr.
As much as I love Feraligatr, I really want Chikorita to get some love. And
I don't think it'll be Meganium for the single reason that its name is Meganium. And you'll have Mega Meganium.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, yeah, it would. Okay, well, if that's the case, because in my head, it's going to
For the same reason that Dragonite won't get a Mega either, because the held item for Mega Evolution is always the Pokemon's name with the word "ite" at the end. So you'd have to get Dragonite-ite.
Oh, dude.
So that like Dragonite and Meganium are just like off the board. So it's for Alligator. Like it's for Alligator. For Alligator wins the day. Mega for Alligator. Here we come.
You know what? I'm okay with that. Let's do it.
It becomes a Water Steel type. It gets Brass Knuckles.
So in this case, here's what it's going to be. It's going to, well, no, shoot, they got G-Max.
Steel? No. It's going to be Dark type.
No, please make it not that. We just got that with Samurott.
Dude, no, you know it's going to be Dark type.
No, don't do that.
Like the thing was made to be a Dark type.
It gets a lot of biting moves.
And like its whole thing is about how like it's like a Dark type basically.
Water fighting.
It could be water, okay, because it's got superpower and crunch by level up. So there's 50-50 in that camp. Well, it gets bite too.
It's kind of like a little brawler guy. Like I'm all about like him getting into little fights, little scraps.
Well, right, but he's like the Dark type brawler who's like, you know, underhanded and.
What about Water Dragon? It's an alligator. Water Dragon. It'll just be beggar Dracovish.
That reminds me of like the schoolyard days when like we were getting all the rumors for Gen 2 as kids from like PoGo's magazine. And people are just like, well, there's going to be a water type Charizard. There's going to be a grass type Blastoise. And there's going to be a water type Venusaur or something, or a fire type Venusaur. And they were all kind of right, but not really at all.
They're closer than you thought because of the stat distributions.
Don't mess up my boy for Alligator. Dude, if Mega for Alligator happens,
well, I agree they shouldn't mess it up, but
Mega for Alligator, I'm for Mega for Alligator. I can get behind that. I'm a proponent.
I'm gonna make this cold call right now. I think we're getting Embor as one of our starters.
No.
I think it's the one that needs the most love.
Could we get like a good Pokemon? Can we get a good Pokemon instead?
But the whole point is to make it good. Give Embor something.
Can we just get a good Pokemon?
No, it doesn't deserve anything.
It's just slow and hit hard and get scald for some reason.
I would also love the idea of like a regional Pokemon, like a regional form, getting a Mega Evolution as well. Like I think that would be, because that's something that they've never done that before, right? So like if they came up with like a new regional form, I would be really hyped if like that Pokemon also got a Mega. Like if they're just like, oh man, we're getting regional, we're getting not Kaloshin, but whatever, Lumiosin, like Volbeat, because we can.
Regional Volbeat.
Honestly, that's not a bad shout, honestly, giving those light bugs.
That a regional Volbeat gets a Mega Evolution.
No, I definitely think that if they were going to do this, I think whatever the starters, I think that's a very real possibility that they do get.
I do too. Yeah, I think there's a chance.
I think it's a guarantee. Honestly, if Megas are going to be back, the starters are going to get it.
Oh, the Megas will go to the starters. But like, what if we get like Lumiocean?
I will say this: if a starter is a Gen 8, I don't know. I think if the starter is not a Gen 8 Mon, I think it's definitely very likely.
Please no Gen 8 Mons. Nobody likes them.
I just don't know if they're going to give a G-Max.
No. They don't care. But G-Maxes are not held holy, in my opinion, because of Pokemon like Hydrapple or Archaludon. And Pikachu got one, Meowth got one, Eevee got one. Who cares? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
G-Max forms are more trashable than a Mega. Like they were designed that way.
Yeah, they're just cheap Megas, really.
Yeah, it hurts to say that, but like, yeah, the G-Max forms are just, first of all, they called them forms, which I think is the correct way to do something instead of calling it like a new Pokemon, essentially. Like a Mega Evolution was never called a form, it was called a Mega Evolution. Or a G-Max form was called a G-Max form. But that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I was trying to figure out what the starters could be, and it's like, well, I guess it's not going to be for Alligator, Embor, and Rillaboom like I thought it could be, because I think that would be too many physical Pokemon.
I don't think they care.
Unless they did something crazy with their regional variants, but
Thatch is right. They probably don't care.
I don't think they care. Yeah, I don't think they care. It's going to be whatever. I think Serperior is more likely than Embor.
Mega Inteleon, then. Let's go.
Serperior, I could see. I could totally see Serperior.
Serperior, I think, might make it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Especially with it being like Regal and it being France. It'll be regal, and it's France. I think it'll work out.
It's a vine, and yeah, there's vines in France. It's all good.
Yep, there's vines in France.
This is my logic, okay? You got vines in France. It makes sense.
That's really good logic. Really sound. Really good. Much smart.
My Embor thought, it actually makes really big sense of being a Mega Pokemon.
Stop. Don't hurt me.
Okay.
It's the Mega Fire Pig Pokemon. It's literally called the Mega Fire Pig Pokemon. There you go. It's in the name. It's Mega.
It's the Pokemon of the episode now. But like,
there we go.
it's the Pokemon of the episode now. But like, you're hurting me. You're hurting me a lot.
I don't like it either, but it's like it deserves something. I feel bad for it.
No, it doesn't deserve anything. Shark, stop saying that. It does not deserve anything.
Embor lost its chance.
Big pig deserves big hug.
Embor lost its chance when they decided to be like, what Pokemon? Let's make Samurott a mono water type. Let's make Serperior a mono grass type. We're going to give one of these starters a dual type, which is a really cool thing to do for starters, by the way, and it's way better than not giving them dual types. What should we give the fire type Pokemon? They're like, fighting. We haven't done that the last 2 generations. And it's just like Embor is just like a disappointment. And it's like an onion of disappointment. There's layers to it.
That is so true. It's really true.
Okay, this is a new rant from Thatch I haven't heard before. This is good. I'm here for it.
We'll save this. Maybe we'll save more comments for the Pokemon of the episode. So I'm gonna make us. We can all like say like one more maybe, and then we'll call it. But I mean I don't have too many others. Like a Pokemon that hasn't seen a lot of game in a long time is Rattata and Raticate, like Mega Raticate. You know, that could be interesting.
See, I was gonna say Mega Butterfree.
Mega Butterfree would be cool. I'm into that. So they kind of balanced it by giving it a Gmax form while giving Beedrill a Mega. But I think Megas are just cool.
So Beedrill got the cooler one.
What would be really cool for me to see? I would love to see like Gmax forms also become Megas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that would be a good way to.
I think the lore would be really cool to be like, Gmax forms are just like a different representation of Mega Evolution, and like wrapping that all up in one neat ball. Like, I would love Gen 10 when it comes out to, like, take all of the mechanics we've been given so far and, like, wrap a story up about them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that would be very neat to be like, Terrestrial, they're all related in this way. And I don't know. Like, I think, honestly, like, they care too much about the competitive meta, I think, now. And I think I want Gen 10 to just be, like, a mess. I want it to be an abomination of, like, everything being there. Because like I hear a really good excuse that like Mega Evolution was too centralizing and that's why they got rid of it, which I believe in the Gen 6 meta was absolutely true. But I do remember the Gen 7 meta where like a Mega Evolution was not nearly as required on your team building. It was a lot of the time it was because honestly like there was huge power creep. Like the Tapus just ruined, like I don't say ruined the game. They made it different. They changed the game. They
centralized the game for sure.
Yeah, the Tapus did more than Mega Evolution ever did. So I think Mega Evolution being centralizing is overblown. Those are my 2 cents. But yeah, I'm gonna end our Mega Evolution rant there if you guys are okay with it.
Mega Walrein, let's go.
But yeah, let's kick it on over to our Embor complaint session. I mean, our Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you all on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 500. Embor, the Mega Fire Pig Pokemon. I hate that.
Its Pokemon White entry reads, it has mastered fast and powerful fighting moves. It grows a beard of fire.
What a bunch of lies. It is not fast.
It is not, actually. It's like base 65 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, no. What?
But it gets Trailblaze now. It can get fast. It can
get fast.
Make it go speedy.
It can go fast
okay.
now.
Speedy. We're going to have a speedy Embor.
The main
Emboar,
like
that'll
the best
hammer move, hammer arm.
The best quality about Emboar is that its shiny is pretty.
I agree. The blue
is very pretty.
Oh yeah, blue flames are the best.
It's very pretty.
Right.
So like, good for you, Emboar. But like after that, I think we're done.
Yep. Close up shop, guys. We did it.
We did
it
it.
gets gold. It's like one of the few fire types that gets gold.
Which makes no sense.
Raikou gets gold. Like, that's interesting. Just as interesting. Cooler Pokemon. Definitively.
Yeah. Well, it gets coaching, so
Oh, it gets coaching. That's kind of interesting. Like, wasn't that a Cinderace like exclusive move for a hot minute?
Was it?
No, that was the Island of Armor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking of Court Change.
Yeah, that one still hasn't gone to anyone else yet.
Did we get?
It gets a surprising breadth of moves. Now I'm looking at the TMs that it can learn.
You really can, and it has a decent special attack if you really wanted just to kind of play, like, mix it up a little bit, throw once,
well, that's true.
Throw a Grass Knot for a Gastrodon or something. Not a Gastrodon.
Dude, why does it have 100 special attack? That doesn't make any sense. Like, this thing clearly punches.
Because this is one of those Pokemon where they're like, well, what if it could do both? And they decide to give it stats there for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to look for a TCG card, but then I realized that there isn't one in rotation right now whatsoever for Emboar. I don't even know if Emboar was ever relevant in actuality. Like the most recent one was E-Block, so it just got rotated out. But it was from, I believe, Battle Styles is from Battle Styles. It's a single strike Emboar too. It does say your single strike Pokemon's attack do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon as an ability, which is actually pretty good if it wasn't on a stage 2. If that was like on a stage 1, like every single strike deck would be running like 4 of these. Because the attack is garbage. It's like 2 fire and 2 colorless for Heat Crash for 130. Like, what a nonsense Pokemon card. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
It looks like
all
it does have an EX card, but it doesn't look
it's not.
good.
No. It's not a real EX card. That's an EX card.
Oh, it's the old EX card.
Yeah, that's from Breakpoint from like the X and Y era. That one. So like, it was a basic at least then, but I don't think it ever saw play because it wasn't good. Much like Emboar itself.
Looking at its stats or its moves is like, ooh, cool. 22 energy for flip a coin until you get a tails.
Yeah, I feel a little bad because there's definitely like some kid listening to this show whose favorite Pokemon is Emboar. And
yeah, that's true.
They're sending us an email right now. Or they're writing a very nasty
I'm
Spotify
the one at least
comment.
telling you it deserves love.
I mean, I guess it has some silver linings. Like, it's not, I don't know.
It's a mega away from being good. It just needs more HP.
The trivia
more speed.
The trivia is hilarious.
Yeah, what would a Mega even look like? Just be like dump a bunch more HP in it, just make it super bulky.
Yeah, I guess if it can't, Megas technically don't get HP, so throw it in, make its defenses. Make it actually a defensive tank.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'd be okay with it if it was a defensive tank because you look at it, it's like big and girthy. Like it deserves to be able to take hits, right?
Like his HP is pretty good, right?
Yeah, it is 110. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. I love this little piece of trivia though. In some games, the Pokedex states that Emboar can throw a fire punch. However, this was first said in Pokemon Black, while Emboar was unable to learn the move Fire Punch until Pokemon Black 2 and White 2.
Perfect. We did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny, and even the Japanese makes this mistake. Just about, it looks like. So, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, Emboar, man, I wish Emboar were better. Or we got a different fire starter in Gen 5.
Honestly, I'd be okay if it was like Dark Fire.
I do think Emboar definitely suffers from repeat exhaustion. I think it's just made worse by I wish I liked the Gen 5 starters at all. In all honesty, the Gen 5 starters to me,
I feel you, man.
My least favorite group of starters of all time are the Gen 8 starters.
Really? Gen 8?
Yeah, are the Gen 8 starters. They're my least favorite starters of all time. And I think a lot of that just comes down to especially in modern Pokemon, a big part of being hyped up for the starters is I can't wait to find out what their second type is when they fully evolve.
Sure.
And so that was a big thing. When we got Gen 6, they all got interesting dual types for the time.
They did, yeah.
And Gen 7, they came out with like really cool dual types as well. And then Gen 8, they're just like, here's some boring Pokemon. And then in Gen 9, they fixed it, and like everybody's got cool stuff again. And
see, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Gen 9 starters, so I don't know.
I think they're weaker than some other gens, but they're definitely stronger than Gen 8.
I would agree. Yeah.
I don't think they're the strongest, but like Gen 5 is like on the bottom for me. I think they're like one notch up from Gen 8 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I would put them on the very bottom for me.
I think
it's just because
Gen 5's the bottom, because it's also
they're just so boring.
Part of
they're
it is
so
design
boring.
and then the execution too.
Well, Gen 5 suffered at the time, I think, especially just because of like what they were trying to do with the game with like the quote unquote soft reboot.
Yeah.
I think the soft reboot aspect of Gen 5, one, changed Pokemon forever, but also like just soured the experience with Gen 5 Pokemon. And granted, I don't think that was an entirely wrong opinion either, because Gen 5, like they definitely like put a bunch of like shovelware Pokemon in there to like pad.
Yeah, but they had a lot of really good ones too.
No, there were some bangers, but I honestly, like, I agree with like the Gen 6 on model of like, hey, here's like 70 new Pokemon, and they're all like, we tried on all of these, instead of like, hey, we gave you the same monkey 3 times. And like,
hey, those monkeys have grown on me, man. I don't hate the monkeys like I used to.
That deserve megas,
dude. Okay,
they're gonna be in the game. They will be in PLCA.
They will be in the game because they're
missing.
They're part of Gen 6 anyways, right?
Kind of.
They're in the forest.
They're in the forest, but they'll be there anyway, because any Pokemon that's not currently available on Switch is going to be on this game.
They're gonna do it finally.
Furfru is already
Furfru's definitely going to be. Yeah,
Furfru's confirmed.
Mega Patrat.
Patrat and Watchog are going to be there, and then the monkeys. I think those are the only ones that are actually missing on Switch right now as catchable Pokemon.
Is there Gen 7? I think that.
That's it.
No. Gen 7 Mon missing?
No, they fixed all of that with Scarlet and Violet, I believe.
Okay, I'm trying to think. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Well, if I forgot it, then that's the problem.
No, I'm pretty sure.
It's been gone so long, I can't remember if there was.
No, it's literally been. It's literally been. Just like it's only those Pokemon like I just listed, like the monkeys, Patrat, and I believe Furfru.
Furfru.
Because that gives you 9, right? Yeah, that's 9 total. So yeah, it's 9 Pokemon.
All right, so Megas for all those, right?
Mega Furfru, I'm here for that. Yeah.
Yeah, just a big, hairy.
Yeah, the only Pokemon
dog.
The only Pokemon that are quote unquote locked to Pokemon Home are Patrat, Furfru, and the monkeys. There is like I'm gonna put an asterisk next to Spinda. Because Spinda has some issue where you can't transfer it into BDSP from Pokemon Home. So I do kind of hope that they fix the Spinda issue, but that's up to them. Like, we might get Spinda in this game just to make up for it. Mega Spinda.
Mega Spinda honestly could be cool.
Mega Spinda, here we go. But yeah.
So Embor, anything else we gotta say about him?
Embor is so exciting. We talked about other Pokemon. And it's fine. No,
you know what sucks? I really like Tepig. I think Tepig is cool.
Dude, all of the first stage forms for these starters are actually really cool. It's just their final evolutions just don't land.
Pignite I don't like. I do not like
Pignite's definitely bottom tier mid stage.
You know what's worse is like even like Pokemon realized that like the first stages are the only cool ones, because this is like one of the few seasons where Ashes never evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Did he not? I thought he got
Pignite. He got Pignite.
Yeah,
that's the only one. But we still had Snivy. We still had Oshawott.
Of course, it's the one he gets.
Wait, it stayed at Pignite? He didn't even evolve that?
Yeah, it didn't evolve past Pignite, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, Gen 5 was like really lame, Ash, because like the other Pokemon, he caught like a Palpitoad that never evolved. He caught a Roggenrola that evolved to a Boldore but never became a Gigalith. He did get a Leavanny. He did get a Swaddle that went all the way to Leavanny, so that's something. And he got a Scraggy that was just a Scraggy.
He's got he got a Unpheasant.
Wow, that's a Pokemon. ...
Excuse me, Unpheasant rules?
Talk about Pokemon worse than Emboar.
No,
better than
not
Emboar,
even close.
Crocodile.
Dude, not even close.
Yeah. Oh, he did get Crocodile, actually. Yeah.
Dude, how are you going to say that Unpheasant is worse than Emboar? Unpheasant has way more personality than Emboar does.
It's just another normal type bird. It's fine.
But okay, it is a pheasant and it is beautiful, and look at the male. It's awesome. I don't know.
It's fine.
I like Unpheasant.
All right. Well, we can all have our wrong opinions. It's fine.
It's fine.
People are going to be like, Thatch is so mean. He just tells people their opinions are wrong.
That's okay, because I'll tell us Thatch's opinions are wrong too. So
that's true. Out. That's true. My opinions are wrong. But yeah, that is our Pokemon of the episode. We are going to go ahead and we're going to kick it on over to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts on the previous show's topic. As always, this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink, Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
And as always, we'll give out the Green Tauros badge to anybody deemed worthy. Last week, we did ask you what your Pokemon journey was like. I believe one of them is actually answering the question beforehand about like regional forms or something like that. But we're going to jump right into it. Our first email this week is going to be from Brayden, and I believe Shark's going to read this one.
All right. Hi again. It's Brayden. Sorry about this email. I already finished it, but then it went away, so I might forget some things. In all fairness, I've only been playing Pokemon for just a little while now. At that point, I still thought it was Nintendo Sword and Shield. Since then, I've gotten into all the games and cards, even started designing my own revision. My favorite moment was when I was just strolling through the wild area. I was scared of Kingler. I still don't know why. Eventually, I caught it, and it was shiny. That's when I decided to be a shiny hunter.
Cute.
I like that. That's good.
I guess he just made his own region. Okay.
Yeah, he's made his own region here.
Interesting.
Yeah, his region that he's been making is called Renua. It is found in a game called Pokemon Divine and Grim, where it's twin brothers who are complete opposite, one who chose light and one who chose dark, that eventually become champions. The plot is you have to travel throughout the region to defeat them and unite the region once again.
Do they also, one of them believe in truth and the other one believe in ideals?
It does have that kind of like X and Y or black and white type of vibes to it.
Yeah, does one of them believe in truth and the other in ideals?
It's like a little bit of that, but expanded on like maybe the Legends black and white would be that.
Yes, I could see that.
Yeah. Which then you can have these really cool forms of, you have a rock dragon Sceptile. Yeah. You have a rock dragon Sceptile.
I'm not saying they're bad. It's just very hard to translate to our audience.
I know. Yeah.
Like art-wise, he's a very good artist, so I'm very impressed.
I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about the Torterra that's on fire.
It's a normal ground type that gets possessed when picking pumpkins and becomes a ghost ground type.
Oh, is that supposed to be... Wait, that's not fire. Is that supposed to be like fall colored leaves? Is that what's going on? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a graveyard on its back.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, it is a graveyard.
Disturbing, but also really cool.
That's an interesting concept.
There's a Ralts line.
And then we got a we got light type. We got Psychic Light and Fighting Light Gallades in Gardevoir.
People have been asking for that type for years, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean, these could work. It's going to be more like this blue and golden color.
Make light type Terrestrial type or whatever it is.
Oh, Stellar. Oh, that's not a bad thought. Stellar. A Ghost Stellar Chandelure kind of looks cool too. This light one. But thanks for reading my email. Listening to the podcast has been a highlight of my day. If there's not a new episode, I go back and listen to the old ones. By the way, sorry about my bottom list last week, but thanks for the Green Tauros badge. Until next time, Brayden.
All right. Our next email is going to be from Gigasaurus Games, and Mark gets this one.
So Gigasaurus says, "Hello, Puckle Crew. It's always interesting to hear stories of how people interacted with Pokemon in the community over the years. So I thought I would throw out my story. I started out playing Pokemon with friends, but I first started paying attention to the community around the middle of Gen 5, which is when I started watching competitive Pokemon. I remember at least some of the old PokeTubing.
That's like when you go sledding downhill on an inner tube, but it's shaped like a Pokemon."
I was like, I'm not sure what this word is. Okay. It's always interesting to compare the landscape between then and now. Back in the day, I remember watching lots of pre-recorded battles, generally featuring regular teams, and live commentary was almost secondary. Now, so much of the competitive Pokemon videos are live commentary instead of after-action reports, and it's really interesting evolution that there's so little post-commentary today. I do think there's been a significant change in how significant the VGC scene is to the overall Pokemon community over time. When I first started paying attention, most people, if they were involved in competitive, focused on Smogon tiers. However, it seems the shift to 3DS and later, the loss of the long timer in Sword and Shield ended up losing a lot of those people around the same time that some of the major PokeTubers today, like Wolfie and Cybertron, started becoming major names, which I think is a lot of which caused VGC to become much more common for competitive battles on YouTube, at least from what I see these days.
Cybertron was actually really big before all of this, so I don't know if I attribute that.
Yeah, Wolfie was VGC.
And so is Cybertron. Cybertron's also VGC. He used to be bigger than Wolfie for the longest time on YouTube.
But then his Rotom missed a bunch of moves, and he never won the championship.
He never won Worlds. Whoopsie. Miss Willow was 3 times in a row, and if it would have hit any of those times, he would have won.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, like, it's insane. Like, he was just incredibly unlucky.
Well, so to close it out, as always, thank you for all the hard work you put together such an interesting show every week, and I hope you have a great day. Gigasaurus Games.
All right. Our last email this week is going to be from Unovian. "Hello, Puckle Crew. Writing about my thoughts for the first time in a long time. I only realized I had to mail in my thoughts tonight before you guys recorded on Saturday morning. We didn't do that. Well, technically it's Saturday morning for me now, I guess, but
yeah, right.
Saturday morning asterisk.
But this topic means a lot to me, so pardon the last minute email. Here are 2 main thoughts I have. The first is that I'm young enough that Pokemania was already a thing of the past. A lot of Gen 1 stuff is traditionally nostalgic for Pokemon fans, but just isn't nostalgic for me. I don't know if it's just like that for just you at this point anymore, but I appreciate this perspective.
Yeah, at this point, no.
Even if I knew who Ash and Pikachu were, it wasn't them who played a big part of my early fandom, but rather discovering the world of Gen 4 and Gen 5 for myself. Then I realized how fun being in a fandom was when I watched and waited for Pokemon X and Y to come out with hundreds of and thousands of nerds around the world, and the rest was history. Dude, Pokemon X and Y release, though, was kind of hype. I remember that one. That one was really hype. That being said, I love how the Pokemon Company knows how to make things nostalgic, even if you aren't a Gen 1er. Look at how happy I was to have so many homages to Unova and PLA, or the Blueberry Academy DLC. It's interesting how nostalgia can look different from generation to generation of Pokemon fans. Next, I like to think of things you can do as a Pokemon fan as the 3 C's: collecting, such as with cards or a Pokedex; challenging, with challenge runs, Nuzlocke, and competitive Pokemon; and creating. 4, if you can consider conversing with fans, another category. While I'm by no means... That's cute. I like that.
I like this.
While I'm by no means skilled at Pokemon or a big collector, I love the creative aspect of being in this fandom. There are cool monsters and cool humans, and there's grand fantasy and sci-fi adventure, and there's slice of life. There's 2.5 decades of deep world building for a setting that's both fleshed out and nonsensical. There's the fact that it's a familiar world like our own, yet more optimistic, where humans and Pokemon can live in harmony. What's not there to be inspired by? That's why I love channeling my passion through Pokemon by creating things. Fan fiction, fan art, cosplay, RPs, the whatnot. Man, I remember reading a lot of fanfics in the past, actually. There were like some good ones. There's some really good ones. There was one that I read.
I remember reading the old Nuzlocke comics.
There was one that I read like a long time ago that I really liked because it was like a grittier version of what Pokemon was, where like being in the Pokemon world was dangerous because obviously you have like giant bees and stuff flying around. And like when they went to Pokemon battles, it was like way more intense. It was a cool fanfic. It's hard to describe. I think it's gone now, which is sad, but I'll have to find it one day maybe. Heck, creating things and talking about Pokemon as a story is what connects me the most with other fans. I met my closest online friends through a Pokemon fan fiction group in DeviantArt and continue to RP, share art, and geek out over Pokemon, generation after generation. To this day, for over a decade, I love being inspired by the setting to design new characters and tell new stories and see others do the same. To end this ramble, creating Pokemon stuff, that's why Pokemon is such a big part of my life. I'll end by mentioning that in 2014, I went to my first anime convention in a very amateur Delphox cosplay. Next week, I'll hopefully complete my Samurai cosplay, honoring my first starter Pokemon from Pokemon White, honoring 10 years of cosplay and geekery at convention, and reuniting with the same friends I met a decade ago on DeviantArt. I think it's beautiful, so I thought it would be a good note to end on this long email. Keep on geeking on, Unovian, aka Nova. P.S. I am 24 and I know how to copy a folder on my computer. We were talking about that last week, how there are people like who don't know how to like operate computers because they were like raised on iPads. So it's a thing.
Oh.
No, that's fair. I heard.
It's a thing.
Well,
I saw a video of something very similar where basically people set up something at a con, to test play a game, and people were having issues using the mouse and keyboard. So the next day they got rid of it and they just had the controllers out and they just kept touching the screen thinking it was an iPad.
Oh my God.
It's a thing.
We're at that period, huh?
Yeah, we're at the period where new things scare us, and we don't understand.
Yay. I'm always waiting for this time.
It turns out keyboards and mice are where we die.
That's fine. I like my keyboard and mouse.
We're gonna be like, why don't you just do it the old-fashioned way?
Hey, it makes me feel like I'm in control, right?
All right. Well, I think I want to give this one to Unovian.
I agree.
I think so.
I really like that story. I really like the connections, especially the long distance connections, and curious about the Samurai cosplay. That sounds fun.
Yes. So you get the green Taurus badge. I would love to hear from everybody next week and what Pokemon you think deserve megas. So send that in to puclpodcast@gmail.com. But in the meantime, if you want to keep hanging out with us, you can come to our Discord at pucldiscord.com. Additionally, you can also come and hang out with us over on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. You can also go over to our YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast or our Twitch at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast. Other than that, you can help support the show by going to trollandtoad.com and use code PucklePod5 at checkout if you want to buy cardboard. Or you could also go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PucklePodcast. The merch tier next month actually is going to be sending out Puckle playmats. So that's really exciting.
Ooh.
Yeah, new Puckle playmats are coming out. So get in on that. Other than that, though, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Sharkfinnagen.
I'm Mark.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.